everyone. Welcome to the Femme Tell All podcast. My name is Madison Bellissimo.
And I am Ruth Devereaux.
And we're so happy you're here.
So happy.
So happy. Ecstatic. And today we are covering, when you go, and today we are covering adult friendships and all of the intricacies that goes into maintaining, choosing the friends in your adult life, how to behave, how to, balance your work-life balance, everything.
Yeah, all of it.
Ruth, why don't you kick us off?
I will say that I think who you choose to spend your time with greatly impacts who you are, where you're going, and the way you carry yourself. I think that the more you're around people that aren't in the same energy or the same pathway as you, it can make you start to feel like things are normal that shouldn't feel normal, and therefore can kind of take you down a path that you might not be completely proud of or excited to be on or feel drained from or feel totally encapsulated by if you're surrounded by people that are negative all the time or people that are lazy or people that only want to talk about themselves and never want to kind of be there for you. Like it impacts everything in your life depending on who you allow in your inner circle. And I think personally for myself, when I was younger, I had a large group of friends that I was around all the time. And I would see all these different people. I would have different social engagements all the time. I think in the last couple of years, I've shrunk that down quite a bit. I still have a good amount of acquaintances that I'll see rarely, but the people I see on a regular basis, I could count on my hand. It's very small. And I feel like since that's happened, and since I've been very selective in that group, my life, I feel personally, has gone so much more positive, so much more focused, and I don't feel like I'm around anybody that doesn't deserve to be around me.
Her mic drop already. She said, first 5 minutes into this episode, I'm going to give you the gospel truth. And I love it. And I love Ruth Devereaux for that reason. I was going to ask, there's so much I want to piggyback off of that because you dropped so many nuggets of wisdom. But would you say it's more quantity or quality or both as far as like making that significant change, that substantial change for you of feeling like it's more positive now?
I think it's definitely the quality of people that I surround myself with. I think everybody that I'm around is driven and is focused on what they're trying to achieve. And then, so I never feel comfortable in taking even what I would say, quote unquote, is an off day because everybody I'm around is constantly working.
Sure.
I don't have people that are like, it's the weekend, I can't do anything. It's like, no, it's the weekend, now we go harder, or now we do this. Like there's nothing off on that. So to me, it doesn't feel uncommon to work on the weekend. It's just like, we're chasing our dreams. We're going to get this. And then support. Like the people that are around me are so supportive of the dreams that I have and like the dreams that we're creating together that it'd be easy to question myself consistently or to give up easily if I had people going like, well, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
like, what's the point of it? Like, whatever that is. Like, the people that are around me are like, no, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so great. You're doing this.
Keep going.
Yeah. And it's already hard enough in this world to for one, identify a dream, for two, to go through it, and the hard days when it's like, I want to give up. You have to have the people around you that go, no, you're not going to.
Going. You got this.
Yeah. And I think also, the people, when I say quality people, is we do it for each other. I think the people that are around me, we support each other equally and like we love each other equally, that I never feel like I'm being taken advantage of, where I feel like I had friendships in the past where I did feel like I was giving more than I was getting.
More than receiving.
Yeah. And I know like everybody goes through their ups and downs, but I felt like it was so consistent where I was giving and giving and giving and feeling drained at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it is draining. Like those kinds of non-reciprocal relationships are incredibly draining.
Yeah.
And you sometimes I feel like we get that with family because I'm not saying that's the case for us, but I'm just saying like I think that's where a lot of people more witness that, or like a job relationship where you're like, my boss does not appreciate me enough, but I'm doing X, Y, and Z for them. And I think at the end of the day, with your partners and your friends, like you're choosing to be with them. That's a very active choice to be around them all the time, to make time for them. Yeah. So when it isn't reciprocal, and not as in like you scratch my back, I scratch yours, so we have to.
Yeah.
You even said people have off days, off months, off weeks, and sometimes one friend will pick up the slack or whatever, but I think if you feel that you're never being taken care of in your friendship by the other party, then what kind of friendship is it?
Have you had any friendships in the past that you've learned lessons from that you're like, these are now non-negotiables for me in my current friendships?
Oh, totally. I mean, I think to your point, anything that's non-reciprocal. And it's not even a tit for tat. It's like feeling any active care. I have a friend, or a past friend, I should say, that, it was really one-sided with her. It was really like a whole group of friends really did anything they could to make her happy, keep her satisfied, keep her satiated, and nothing was ever enough. And it's really unfortunate because she had this narrative of like, no one loves me enough, no one, and when you hear that stuff, you're like, oh my, you lean in more, you're like, oh my God, how can I help you feel loved? Like especially if they have a history of like other, she had a pretty poor family history. She had a bad relationship history, things like that, where it would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you feel that way. And it makes sense you felt that way. You've been mistreated in the past. So let me make sure
rush to support.
Yes, exactly. Let me treat you well to make sure that you never have to question that you're safe and sound in this relationship. But after a while, it took a toll, and there was no reciprocation. And I remember, like, even my brother, when he's pretty locked-lipped when he, like, if he doesn't like someone that he knows I really like, he's just going to be like, yeah, they're chill. Like, he obviously, people that he loves, he's like, I fuck with Ruth. So, like, he's like, he loves people. Yeah. No, you guys are really, it's so sweet seeing you two together. But, like, and same with Noah, same with Mac. Oh, my God, like, Mac is, like a little sibling to Max and Alex and Tristan. So, it's like those things where they, my family really is very like, oh, you're in it. You're in the family. And I remember distinctly after my brother met her, he was like, oh, she's a leech. And I was like, oh,
wow.
Shit.
Right away.
Wow. He was like, she's
and
a
he
leech.
is not one to speak like that.
He does not speak poorly about anyone.
No.
He's like, so just like, he doesn't give a fuck about that kind of stuff. He also is like, just so couldn't be bothered with drama. And he was like, oh, she's a leech. Like, I can clock her right away. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, and he was like, oh, she's going to take you for everything that you'll give her, and she will not give you anything back.
Wow.
And I was like, no, she's just going through a hard time. You make excuses for the people you love. And,
of course.
it's just so funny because she unfollowed me today. And I texted Ruth being like, weird after all of this, and I don't care any, at this point, the last year and change, we've been pretending we were cordial with each other by continuing to follow each other on Instagram. We aren't like hating each other, but we don't talk. You don't
need to.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because she had proven to me that she couldn't be a good friend, a reliable friend. So I think those are the non-negotiables. It's definitely, or at least that's one, of being like non-reciprocal, non-kindness. Like, I need you to be very kind.
That has to be your go-to as a human being.
Yeah.
Just be kind.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to witness just like a mean nature.
Yeah.
I just don't do well with that.
Yeah.
And then I would say, and that's like with everyone, that's like the person you don't know, the people you do know. Because like if they're talking mad shit on everyone in your life, in their life, you're not going to be there.
You were not excluded from that crowd.
They're going to be talking shit about you too. So there's that. And then I would say also a non-negotiable for me is, someone that's not willing to make adjustments. Because I think when I'm getting into a friendship with someone, I'm in it for the long haul. I never want to be like a short-lived. I'm like, if we're friends, I'll see you at my deathbed. Like, that's how I want that my friendships. Like, I take them so seriously. I've had so many long-standing friendships in my life, and I don't want that to ever change. So I think with that, having that acute awareness that like we're going to adjust, we're going to shift, whether we have partners, whether we have babies, whether we are divorced, whether we, like there's so many life events, whether you have a family member that passes away, like so many things happen that's uncontrolled with our life, our jobs. Sometimes jobs will make someone move, or school, and I think just having that not only awareness, but willingness to go with the like curves in the road and being like, okay, I know I can't see you in person this year, but I want to FaceTime with you. I want to make sure that we still do like an online coffee date, like a FaceTime date or something like that.
See, for me, like, I think that the more that I have going on in my life, I have to have the friends that are not high maintenance. I cannot have the friend that's like, I can't believe, like, is like guilting me for not seeing them. Like, I think that any adult should have enough going on in their life that they're not only reliant on seeing me, but I also love the fact of like, I have friends that do live long distance that Sandra, I don't get to see her that often, but every time I see her, we pick up like nothing has been dropped. Like it would be like if we were hanging out every day versus when I get to see her now. Like there's no difference for us. Like we are that friendship, and I think true friendship exist in those miles apart or in that time apart.
Absolutely. And it's so lovely witnessing you and Sandra. Sandra, you are a real one. The moment I met her, I was like, oh, I fuck with her so hard. She's such a good person.
She is a great person.
She's talk about what you had said earlier as far as prerequisites of, and Steph is in this category too. Steph, we love you.
We love you.
But two friends that I've gotten introduced that are your friends that you know,
adore
I would love to consider friends of mine. You know, I'm like, I love them so much. They're so lovely. I'd be so lucky, but they're so driven. They're so kind. They're so communicative. They really do know that they have so much going on in their life and your life that they know that sometimes it's going to have to be like, we put this down and we come back to it. And that doesn't mean I love you any less or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm so glad that you've witnessed that.
And I'm glad we have a friendship like that too. Like we get to, we're lucky that we get to spend a lot of time together. Yeah. But I also feel like if I didn't see you, like my love for you wouldn't diminish.
Oh, not even slightly.
Yeah. And I feel like also when we talk about the check marks, I think we talk so much about toxic relationships. We don't often talk about toxic friendships and like having even maybe a checklist for that. Like if I had a checklist for friendship, which I've never had, but you would check everything off. I think it's just like you are supportive, you are loving, you are caring, you are kind. Like there's so much that you provide as a friend that like I never feel like I always do feel energized when I leave your presence. Like I never feel drained. I never feel like you bring drama into my life. Like we both have had our ups and downs or problems that we've like come to each other with, but like it's never that. I think even thinking about this friend that you mentioned, every time I would hear about her, something happened.
Oh, there was always drama.
Always something. Yeah. And like even down to the point of like she's coming to your house and like there's a car accident or there's every day there was something. And like I understand people go through hard times, but when that's a consistent thing, that's somebody's nature of them bringing it to themselves.
They're bringing chaos to themselves. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And thank you for saying that. You check all my boxes too. It's true though. Like we have such a tight-knit relationship. We've built it from the ground up like, yes, sure, we started with a mutual friend, but that wasn't like a strong friendship for either of us that was like, oh, well, that would naturally mean that we would be strong friends. Yeah. Like we started from the ground up. We developed all of our communication skills with each other. We also developed like how we speak with each other. And that's how the podcast started, you know?
Bringing it back full circle.
Yeah. I'm so thankful, you know, and I will never not be thankful for it that, you know, not to be a double negative, but it's true. Yeah. And I just wanted to see if you have any non-negotiables for yourself.
Yeah, I think a couple that I've touched on already is just like for sure, like somebody that's surrounded by drama. You are not a victim of like your
circumstances.
Yeah. And that to me, when somebody is surrounded by drama and there's always problems, that to me comes back to what I said about even like in relationship past episodes where if somebody blames everything that's happened on their past on outside circumstances and never learned personally what they need to fix, that to me doesn't work in friendships either, because like you're not learning, you're not growing. I want to continue growing as a person, and if you're going to stay stagnant, I don't want to be around it. I don't want to be drawn into it, and I don't want to be there just supporting you and being taken away from my time to build myself. Like that's a problem for me. I want people around me that are like, I want to get better. I'm great now, but I just want to keep getting better. And I like, let's do it together. Let's grow together. Like nobody gets anywhere alone. Like it should be like, you should have people around you that you can grow with, and you're going to get there faster together. So that to me is non-negotiable now. I don't want to be around people that are talking shit about everybody. That to me is again negativity, and that's again drama. I don't want to be around people that trying trying to think what else. Like, yeah, I think kindness is definitely, like you said. Yeah, I think those are the main things for me. I just want kindness.
Those are all strong.
Yeah.
It's very strong. And I think to your earlier point of energy too, are they energy suckers? Are they energy givers? Like that is completely valid to take stock in and be like, oh, do I feel like almost as if when you're gauging if you're like an introvert to an extrovert, when you're having one-on-ones with people, if you're feeling drained after, you should be like, oh, what's the vibe there? What's going on? Why am I feeling drained? Why are they evoking this feeling from me?
Exactly.
So yeah, because every time I leave a hangout with you, and there's a TikTok that I just saw that I'm going to post on when we're posting out this episode, and it's like I just saw my friend and blah, and I'm like I feel that way with all of my best friends, and I have like a very tight knit group of best friends. But you're in that group, and it's true. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, I can take on the world, bitch. I can let's go, look at us, and I love your point of it. You can't do it alone, right? And I think so many people talk about raising children, right? And it's like takes a village. It takes a village. I'm like, honestly, that translates to building a career too. That translates to making a home. Translates to building your personal style. You know, like whatever.
Well,
like
I was even telling Neil when we get married, I was like, I think for the ceremony, like I think the reception's a little bit different for the ceremony. I want it to be small,
super small,
because the people that I would want there, I would want to know these are the people that are going to support us. Years are going to get hard. Relationships are difficult. You need people around you that are like, no, we're here for you guys as a couple, like together. And I told him, I was like, at that ceremony, I want everybody, when we're making our vows to each other, they're part of these vows too, because they're going to support us in our journey together, because these are the people we're choosing to be around us. Yeah. And I think that that's like so important too. Like even in relationships, if you don't have the right people around you, if there's problems, they're instantly going to be like, yo, cut and run or whatever that is. Like,
that's so true. There's so many, there's so many memes about that too, especially men that are like, dude, just break up with her. You know, and you're like, you're so lonely that you want me to be lonely.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. Misery loves company.
Oh, 100%.
That's another thing. A miserable person.
Not for me. No. I need sunshine girlies.
Yes, joy. Yeah. Bring me joy. I'll bring you 10 times more back. Yeah,
because we'll riff off of each other.
Exactly.
How many times have we been in the car or like doing something mundane, and
or
we're
even
like
starting every episode? We'll start. We get into a giggle fest.
Yeah, no, we actually have to like stop ourselves each episode because we both like laugh so much. And every time we edit the videos, we're like, oh my god, we're so good. And honestly, we have to be our own hype men in that way. Like if we're pursuing something that's kind of more difficult, and I'm tiny violin, I get it. Like podcasts are not difficult in that way. Like anyone with a mic can, heard. Okay. Yeah. But I'm saying in the way of like putting ourselves out there
we've had stressful times in this. Like we've had like negativity that's come against us that we've had to fight together, which thank God we're doing it together.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's times like the first time it started happening, I think both of us were taken aback.
100%.
And like, even though there's trolls on the internet, you don't realize how it feels when you're those people on the other end.
The victim of the, or like the
no, it's a victim.
The one that they're pointing at, right?
Yeah. And it's to have a good friend by my side doing it with me. Like if I was standing there alone, how could somebody relate to what you're going through?
100%. Yeah. They don't. Like I feel like every time, people have sympathy for us and empathy for us when we bring this up, but a lot of people that don't, they're kind of like, well, fuck them. And I'm like, yeah, fuck them. Yeah, 100%. But there's something that, that it goes in a deeper level where we try to, like, thank God you said we have a partnership here so we can weather the storm together.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember even like, when I talk about good friends, I always talk about Sandra in that way. When I was going through like a tough breakup with my long-term partner, I remember staying with her afterwards and like me crying on her bathroom floor and her physically picking me up off of the bathroom floor and putting a face mask on me. But that's the friendships you need, like, because we're all going to hit those bathroom floors. We're all going to have the times where it feels like you can't lift yourself up. And like, if you don't have the right people around you, that can be a spiraling effect.
100%. Yeah. I mean, both last breakups I've gone through, I went to you and Noah and Mac too, and just was a puddle on the floor pretty much both times. I remember my college roommate went through the biggest breakup of her life, and it was such a momentous and in a really negative way. I don't know. It was just so heavy. It was such a big breakup in her life. And I remember, she was like, I picked her up off the floor, and I remember I made her steak. I was like, you need protein. I was like, you need something. And we still laugh about that today.
That's the Italian
I know. I was like, I gotta cook you something. And and we still laugh about that today. And I'm not gonna say her name in case she wants privacy. But as far as one of my college roommates, I was roommates with the entirety of, and we were so tight, so close. We still are so close. And she brings that up. She's like, you fed me steak and you picked me up off the floor when that asshole did that. And I'm like, yes, I did, baby. We got to do that. And it's like, you got to do that for your people. Because you never know, not to be like, you never know when it's going to happen to you. Don't do it just so that they can do it for you. But you should be wanting to do that for the people that you love.
Well, you'll do it for the people that you love, knowing that they would do it for you too.
Exactly.
Pray to God, you don't get to those places, and hopefully, you continue to have joy in your life. But when you don't, the reason the people that are around you that matter is because I've had friends that I've done that for that, and they was nowhere to be seen when I was going through some shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, so it's not that you require that, but it is if you want the people that are going to show up in the same way that you
would hope for that. Yeah. I've spoken with a couple of friends about this, and I'm curious to get your opinion. I think there's almost hierarchies of friends too, not of who you love more, but as far as there's certain friends that you're like, no, I could call them at any time, any day, they'd pick up. Or if they didn't pick up right away, they'd send me a text. I'm sorry, what's up? Can I help?
Yeah.
If you were like SOS, they'd be like, where, when, I'm hopping on a
coming.
flight. Yeah, whatever. And then there's friends that that would of course be there for you when they can be.
Yeah.
And then there's friends that it's just more like a platonic, sweet.
I see you. And
I support you. No bad blood. We're more than acquaintances, but we're not close friends.
Yeah.
Do you think that is that aspect?
I guess it would depend from person to person. I would only consider those people acquaintances.
Yeah.
Who I would consider my friends
are the people that you could call.
Are the people I can call and that can call me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I would. I'm sure there are levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I've made my circle so small.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wouldn't call if there's that level where it's just oh, we're cool and we see each other and I'm supporting you from afar. That to me is an acquaintance. That's not a friend. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's true. I think you're right. I think there, at least in my life, I think there are some friends that I'm like, oh no, we're friends.
Yeah.
If they were like, hey, in a group chat sometime, does anyone, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that. I can give that to them, or But I think you're right. It does lean more acquaintance. Yeah, 100%.
Well, I think it's also because, again, I guess it's what you give as a friend too. I know how you show up for people in your life. I know how I show up for people in my life. And so my requirement for what my friends around me,
it's just a higher threshold.
It's just a higher threshold.
Yeah. 100%.
It's just same for my partner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're not fucking around.
No.
We are not fucking around in the 2024. We're not doing that. You're not.
No. And I think that I do require a lot from the person that I'm choosing to spend my life with. And my friends are chosen family, right? And so like you said, I plan on being friends with the people that I'm closest with for life.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to have that same requirements for my life partner, why wouldn't I have that for my friends as well?
What is this? Mic drop number 3? I don't know. At this point, I can't keep count. It's true though.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I think it's hard too, and as we mature too, when you have friends that are married, you have friends that are pregnant, you have friends that have kids, you have friends that are completely single. How do you feel like it's navigating now that you've been in the relationship now for a year? Do you think that's made it harder? Do you think that's
no? Honestly, I think it's only amplified my friendships. I think that now, being in a committed relationship, I don't know. I'm not affected by my friendships and what their relationship status is. I feel like now that I've gone through different types of stages in life, I feel like then I'm able to offer more help to people in different stages of life. Just from personal experience.
Yeah, because you've been through it.
Yeah. And then also I just think, and I think you're this way too, Yeah, one of my good friends is pregnant right now, and I've never personally been pregnant. I've been around kids like growing up and stuff like that, but like to see her kind of like, I was talking to her the other day and she was telling me just like what she's going through, and like, there's a lot that goes into when you're about to have a child, but you forget how much.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She's like, the decisions you have to make, the stress that you're going through, the emotions you're going through, and like, but I can connect to her emotions. And I even messaged her today because I saw like a reel that was like now this like pregnancy stuff is because every time I see something and sending it to her. But there was this reel where this woman was talking, doing this back and forth on the reel, like saying, I'm so like, whenever you're ready, I'm going to come visit the baby. And then she's like, oh, okay, thank you so much. And she's like, what's the hardest time of day? And the girl's like, what? And she's like, the hardest time of day. She's like, oh, well, the baby's crying at midnight. She's like, okay, I'm going to come over at midnight. And like, to me, it was just like, that's the kind of way I want to show up for her, this being her first child. Like, and so I sent it to her and saying like, this is the kind of friend I want to be for you. Even though I haven't personally experienced what you're about to go through, like emotionally, when I hear you speak, I can connect with that, and I want to be there for you. I want to be there. Way.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of people are willing to be there when you're succeeding. If they can like bask in that light, but they're not always willing to be there during the tough times.
Like showing up at midnight if your friend needs you, that's a new 100%. Mom and she just needs you to take some of the weight. Like doing that. Yeah. Like for you, it's maybe 1 or 2 nights. For her, like she's going to be going through it for X number of months.
Yeah.
And
years maybe, depending.
Yeah, exactly.
I just saw, I think there's so many, I feel like friendship in women in media has been more spotlit, I think, the last couple of years. I love I'm seeing like Jamie Lee Curtis, when she was really supporting Michelle Yeoh and like really being like, she's my girl, like during all of the like Oscar buzz and everything like that. But I actually saw Jamie Lee Curtis post like a couple days ago about how it was the year anniversary of when she found out she was nominated for an Oscar last year. And she said that one of her friends called her and was like, oh, when does the announcement come out? And she was like, 5:30. And she was like, great, I'm going to be outside your door and I'll come. And so she came at 5:30 in the morning to sit with her to watch the like announcements for the Oscars in case it was a not good thing or in case it was a great thing. And she captured the moment where she found out that she was nominated for an Oscar. And she was like, yeah, exactly. And she's like, it means so much to me, that she was just there for point blank period. It was not like, oh, you're going to obviously get the Oscar, and you should be hyping your friend up like that. But like, it wasn't because she was like, you're going to get this. So I'm going to be
either way it goes.
Yes. She was like, I'm there.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys, I have a big meeting coming up tomorrow and I am so nervous. And this little angel right here is going to be coming to meet me directly afterwards. So whichever way I spiral, up or down, she's going to be there. I said,
come to mama. No, literally. Well, that's why I texted you. I was like, it's been on my schedule because the meeting has moved now. And it's been on my schedule, like on my calendar, because it's just as important to me. I care about so much that you've done.
That's another thing. Like you definitely, that's one of my, for sure, non-negotiables is people who cheer your wins on, because it's also like very much in this culture is sometimes easy to be just jealous.
Oh, envious. Envious.
We see it online. We see it in friendships where it's that frenemy sort of thing where it's like they are saying they're supportive, but they really are so pissed off that you're winning.
No.
And you can feel that. As much as you want to ignore it or they want to like say they feel something else, you feel that jealousy.
That's so true.
I cannot be around people like
either.
that. Yeah.
I'm like, if you're not like a girl's girl where you're like truly, and obviously non-gender, like I'm just saying like someone that is there for your people. Yeah. Like,
and like you genuinely want to see them win. Like I want to see everybody around me win.
Oh, 100%.
I want to see even people like I don't like care to be around win. Like there's enough winning for all of us.
Totally.
Like let's all get out there and do what we can. Let's make, if we're all happy, this world is a better place. The toxicity online will go away.
That part. And there's enough success for everyone. Like that is something that we throw around, and especially at least at acting school. I heard that so much. And there's no success. I was like, okay, sure. Only one of us can get the lead, But and I'm gonna fucking fight. But no, truly, like there's been so many times where I'm like, no, them booking that commercial, them booking, like you have to be just supportive of people's wins.
Yeah.
Like they got engaged, amazing. Yeah, sure, you want to be in a relationship, but like you will find yours. You will find yours.
Yeah.
And like those are my favorite kinds of conversations. Noah and I have a mutual friend that neither of us are super close with. It's more than like a parasocial relationship. We've met this woman multiple times. We follow her on Instagram. She just did her principal. She's a swing or an understudy, and she just went in on her national tour to play like the lead in the show.
Wow.
And we both brought it up. We were like, "Did you see? Like she went on. That's so exciting." Awesome. And I kind of thought to myself, I was like, "She doesn't know that we're talking about this. She doesn't know that we're like, fuck yeah, good for her that she went on. That would be so fun. Good for her." And then we like dropped it and then kept on with our like rest of the conversations. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I hope people are doing that for others. Like, I hope that you really are championing other people.
Well, and here's the thing. People that are happy and people that are like pursuing their own dreams or pursuing their own goals, like genuinely that's how you're acting.
Yeah.
If you are acting another way, you need to check yourself. You need to go back inside and say like, why do I feel this way? Why am I reacting this way? How can I change inside what is now coming outside of me? Like that's an
why do I have
thing.
Some animosity?
Yeah, why am I angry?
Yeah. I think it kind of coincides with like never take advice from someone you wouldn't or never take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from or something like that. I think is the phrase. I'm paraphrasing, but I think it's true. Like if people are going to just be like haters, like when we've talked a couple times on hateful comments that we've received, and like some of them that I just laugh because I'm like what's your deal? Like what's your and this again, this is a little off topic, but we had someone stitch our video on TikTok the other day. And I found it so funny because I was like, you clearly didn't watch the episode. No. And I was like, that's fine. Like, you don't have to. And I like commented back, I like as femtall, you know, and it was cleared by Ruth. I didn't just like, you know, but like we commented back and I was like, hey, like, thank you for listening to our video. But like, please obviously I think you're like you're missing some information because you brought up a point that we directly covered
in the episode
and you were saying that we were against that and I was like, and we very clearly were against it, like, you know, like it was like, come on. And he didn't respond to us and I was just like, exactly, why are you so angry about two women that you don't know on the internet? And I'm like, just be like, all right, they're doing their thing even if you don't agree, you know. I don't know how we've gotten to a point where it's
I don't either. And that's the thing too. Like, I think we've all seen things online or seen even people in our lives do things that maybe we don't fully agree with.
We're like, ooh, no, it
but
happens
like,
every day.
Then when we talk about kindness, like you respond with kindness even in that. And like I sent you that message that my friend sent me recently about an actress, Anne Hathaway, and how she worked with her and how she is so kind and so generous and like knows everybody's name on set, but also very clear with her boundaries, but in the kindest way. You can be clear with your boundaries. You can be clear with what your beliefs are. You can still present it in a kind way. You can still present it in a way that you're not attacking somebody, what they look like, who they are, what their belief system is, and still state what your opinion is. Like 100%. There's a way of doing that. Let's all learn how to do that.
I think so. And I think this directly translates to friendship too, because there are a lot of time, I think we're almost in a day and age where if you're not reachable all the time, if you're not down to go out right away at the drop of a hat or things like that, sometimes people will shame you into being like, oh, you're not a good friend, you're not here. And it's like, no, I'm here when it matters, and I'm here for the things that, but I don't like drinking at 2 a.m. every weekend. I'll go out if we can plan in a month in advance. If you give me a month,
there, baby.
I'll stock up on sleep, you know, whatever. But like, obviously I'm being a little melodramatic right here, and hyperbolic, but in the way of, if you can respect your friends' boundaries, sometimes you have friends that are just not going to be available at the drop of a hat. They're not going to be willing to do everything. And when I've had friends that are like, oh, no, I don't fuck with that, or no, I don't do that, or no, actually, I really need my sleep. I don't think we should be like, wow, they're such a less than a friend. Like,
I think we've both had moments like that with each other. I'm like, I don't want to go there.
Oh, 100%. I've been like, the invite is on the table, just so you know, we're going here. And you're like, I'm like, fair, girl. I wish I was in bed. I'm like, I wish I was in bed just like you right now. I do, but I'm showing up for something else. You know, it's a birthday or whatever, you know. But yeah, and you know, I think having that awareness and having that like flexibility.
But I think it's like respecting people's boundaries too, right? Like I think it's like even as friends, like I think I know you have boundaries that I respect and like vice versa as well. And I think there are sometimes people in your lives that will know that and continually push and push.
Yeah.
And like that can be detrimental to friendship as well.
Yeah. Like, you know, I will drink with you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't drink a lot, but you know, I'll drink with you.
Yeah.
But you've never been like, you need to get fucking plastered.
No.
You know, and it's like, and I've had friends in the past like that where they're like, no, come on. And you're like, yo, I don't drink a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's just something I don't like. If I'm like, all right, I'm willing to get a little pissy. That's a different story. And they're like, yeah, you know? But like, there's a difference of like, what? Oh, you're so lame because you've never been drunk or whatever. And you're just like,
no,
let's not.
No, let's
say
not do that.
We did.
Yeah. And let's not name call.
Yeah. Let's
not do that.
That's also one thing. But friendships are so hard, and I think especially navigating adult friendships, I think people are not equipped, or a lot of us. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a gender thing, but I think a lot of people just don't understand what really does go into a meaningful, lasting friendship, and what you think you should be entitled to as like, oh, we're friends, we fuck with each other, whatever.
I think it's navigating through friendships just like you would a relationship. It's being open and honest, having those conversations. And if you state your needs and your wants or your boundaries and somebody isn't willing to appreciate that or understand it, then it's okay not to be friends.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to be guilted in like, oh, we've been friends, so we have to stay friends. Like, no, if your path is going a different way, then we can say good luck. I wish you the best, but we don't need to be in each other's lives.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. And I think normalize. I mean, I think we don't talk about how friendship breakups can be just as upsetting, painful, and painful as a regular relationship breakup. Yeah. But I think also, in part with that, sometimes they're necessary, you know, like even if you love that person, sometimes they're necessary. And the woman that I had referenced earlier in the episode, I did not want to be friends with her anymore at the point that I did, but my hands were tied. No, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And, you know, and sometimes you do that, and sometimes you're able to vocalize and just be like, I can't, sorry. Like this is not gonna happen.
I've had many friends, but I have one friend in mind that like, I was friends with this person for many, many years and like just kept, there was plenty of times we had like friendship breakups and then would become friends again. But every time it was always something that happened that was so toxic and like it just wasn't, I just couldn't be around it anymore. And I still love this person immensely from afar. Yeah. Wish them all the best, want them to have the best life they can possibly have. I just don't want to be around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's entirely fair. Yeah. And I think you're right we've made a couple of points on this. You should have that laser focus as far as you would treat finding your partner, the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, doing that with your friends too, because you're going to spend
a lot of time
probably a lot of time, if not the rest of your life with them.
And like we joke about all that, like you are my therapist. Yeah. Sometimes like I want as good
vice versa. How many times, Ruth? And there's been times when, you know, I've been on a phone call with you and you know something's wrong with me before I do. You know, like there's been times where you like recently, and it was like a couple months ago, and I remember talking to you and just being like, okay, yeah, and you're like, okay, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just tired, I think, you know, and you were like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. You know, and then you like, you didn't push the issue, but you were like, okay, but I think I don't really want to get off the phone with you until you feel good. And then I was like, I just started crying, I remember. And it's like, that's so rarely that happens to me, but having a good friend that can be there for you. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off during the
No.
thing.
Thank you so much for saying that. But what I was going to say is like, having you as like my therapist, having you as such a close person in my life, like if replace you with somebody that's negative and like still like so close to me, like how does that affect me?
Oh,
every day.
It's an everyday thing.
It's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
Especially somebody that's like consistently needing from you, like in a negative way. Like it's going to affect your everyday life.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Or they're going to give you bad advice and then you're going to make bad decisions.
and perpetuate that. Well, and I think like, the best case scenario, like you would your boyfriend, husband, fiance, girlfriend, you know, whatever partner, you want to be like, fuck yeah, they're the coolest. Like, yeah, that should positively like reflect on me because they're fucking cool. And I just got lunch with one of my friends yesterday, and he's so sweet, and he just moved back into town, and he's been watching our podcast, and he was like, yeah, I'm like, if you want to like go out, well, hi Andy. Like, he watches it so he can say hi to him. But he was just like, yeah, if you ever want to like go on a hike, like, and he was like, Ruth. I was like, actually, I didn't ask Ruth. I was like, I'll ask her. And he was like, I really want to meet her. He's like,
I would love to come, Andy.
And he goes, he goes, she seems like such a badass. And I was like, she motherfucking is, dude. And I was like, that is so cool that he said that. Like that he was like, she seems like such a badass. I want to get to know her.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I know, right? And I was like, so sweet. And like, I loved that with my chest. I was like, she is, you know, like, and I could be like that because we, you know, we built such a strong relationship, and because I think of you that way.
I think of you that way too. And like, I agree. Like, I want women and friends and people around me, not just like even women, but people that I feel that way about, because like, when I look up to you and I say she's a badass, like that's gonna make me want to be like more like, oh, let's go.
100%. There's been so many things that you've accomplished in your life in the last couple of years where I've been able to be witness to, that I've been like, yeah, let's fucking keep going. Let's go. Like, what does she need? What does she want next? You know, like, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
What can I help you with? You know, like, and yeah, that's why it's a no-brainer that you're having this really big meeting tomorrow. And I was like, we're going out directly as soon as you're done. Car door is open outside your apartment, you know. So I love you too. Aww. So I think friendships
I'll wrap us up. Yeah. So just to wrap us up here, as you can see, our friendship's the best. But just like you would in your relationship, hopefully you're making a list for yourself. If you're struggling with creating the right friendships, maybe take a step back and think about what those things are that are important to you in friendship. How are you showing up as a friend? And like, how does that mean you want other people to show up for you? And like, that's okay to have a checklist. And if people aren't meeting that, to say like, maybe you need to take a step back from them, maybe not completely cutting them off, but at least taking a couple steps back and focusing on making sure positive energy is continuously surrounding you and you're reaching your goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm like, yeah. I'm like so proud of you. I'm just like watching, like, yeah, she's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. What are you grateful for?
You.
Aww,
every day.
I'm gonna cry. I'm thankful for you too.
Oh, I
love you so much.
So much.
We're thankful for all of our friends.
Yes,
like we have so many amazing friends. Yeah. I have friends that I literally do not go a day talking or do not go a day without talking to, and I really couldn't do it without you guys, and I love you so much. Thank you guys for watching. We love you guys
so much. We're so grateful you're here. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll see you next week on Femme Tell All.
Thank you so much.
Bye.